Blessed Christmas to one and all. I'm the Reverend McDonell, Rector for Ascension Episcopal Church in Stillwater, Minnesota, where we are free to question. I simply love Christmas time. There seems to be such a graciousness and loveliness to Christmas. Every year, I get caught up in the nostalgia of the season and the sweetness of the season. Recently, I was reflecting on a Christmas a long time ago when I was in my early 20s, when a new friend of mine, Jennifer, and I had decided that we were going to take a 15-mile trek, a 15-block trek in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to our church home, All Saints Cathedral, on Christmas Eve to go to the quote-unquote midnight mass. It was actually at 9 o'clock at night. It was snowing Christmas Eve as we came out from church, and it was just delightfully beautiful. We had heard angels singing, and shepherds had come to the manger, and angels were there, and Mary pondered all the beauty in our hearts. And as we trekked home in the snow, we fell into a holy silence together, and the sky was that delightful pinkish gray as we walked together. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but I, being a lover of snow, noticed that you can actually, if you listen quietly enough, you can hear the snow falling on the ground. As we were walking together, my friend Jennifer said to me, "What do you believe, Georgie?" I paused for a moment and I said, "Jennifer, I simply believe that this is so beautiful that I fall in love with it every single year." I was perhaps 24 or 25 at the time. I was getting ready to think about embarking on becoming an aspirant for holy orders. And looking back on it many years now, 30 years later, I have to say that's a pretty darn good answer. I fall in love with the beauty of Christmas each and every year. I like that answer still. Recently, I was reading one of my favorite theologians, former Archbishop Rowan Williams, who writes this: "Remember, Christianity is contact before it is a message. God is at work in flesh and blood from the first moment that Mary embraces her child." Or even better, as a favorite Christmas carol phrases it, "But his mother only, in her maiden bliss, worships the beloved with a kiss." I sigh every Christmas when I hear that, because my heart just simply wants to melt at the beauty of those words, the stunning beauty of them. That's the point of the story, that our icy hearts might melt just a little bit, that we might get caught up in the beauty, and we might just become a smidge more kind and loving. That's the point. God wants to find a home in our hearts. God wants to break into our lives. Our world is becoming more and more fractured and ugly these days. I was recently sitting with a parishioner who was lamenting and asking me why she should come to church, why she should get up every week, Sunday in and Sunday out, and come. I was so blessed that I had an answer ready for her. I had been just a few nights prior to our absolutely sublime lessons and carols, and my heart was so soft and my heart felt so inspired that I knew I was filled with so much beauty that I simply said to her, "You need to be here because we need this beauty. We need our hearts to be softened because the world is so dark and divided right now. And we need to be reminded of how beautiful this story is and how stunningly beautiful our God is, and how filled up with love we are. That is the point of Jesus who bursts into this world. That is the point of our God. He bursts into our hearts and makes a home in Mary and allows the beauty and graciousness to melt the heart of a mother who simply worships God, worships her child with a kiss. That is transformative love. That is how God busts into the world and bursts into our hearts. Each and every Christmas it happens and our world is transformed. If you are looking for a church home, I invite you to consider Ascension, a church that's free to question, a church that is transformed with beauty, that is open to mercy and has deep missional bones and tradition, and loves to serve in the community, and is transformed by deep beauty, tradition, as well as reason. We are a church that loves our beauty. We're sending out this stream, this message, because we are giving our streaming team Christmas Eve off so that they can be fully present with their families instead of doing our Christmas Eve streams and liturgies as we normally do. Family comes first at Christmas time so that our hearts are kinder and are fully present with families. Wherever you find yourself this Christmas Eve, I hope that you find yourselves looking into the eyes of kindness and love. Merry Christmas to one and all. God bless.